he needs as a grown man in the world. That would be...
You should have threw a boy in the mix.
I would. I'm so glad I didn't have a boy.
Yeah.
Because he would have been a Barack Obama.
It was like baby Barack. It would have been amazing.
Ooh, no, I would have felt for him.
All right, man. I was gonna wait to do this, but hey, man, I wasn't gonna do this video. But we've seen Michelle Obama say she was glad that Obama didn't have a son. Now, I took it when I listened to it in the context of she didn't want her son to have to fill Obama's shoes. That's how I took it. That's literally how I took it. When I went to go see the whole context of it, I was like, okay, maybe she was like, oh, I hate to be him. You know what I'm saying? Like, have to live up to that expectation and you be under the microscope. And I think that his girls, they get grace because they women. We always give women grace. And the women get grace. As the boys, I mean, he couldn't do nothing. He couldn't smoke a J. He couldn't ride the bike without his hands on the handlebar. He couldn't drive a motorcycle. He couldn't do anything. So I definitely agree with her from that standpoint that that like it would have been a lot of pressure. Now most people took it as disrespect, and she's disrespected him on the podcast before. How she said she didn't want him to be president. She didn't, obviously, before that was started this, she didn't show up to old buddy funeral, and you know what I'm saying, and all of that. And everybody else's wife was with their husband and she didn't show up, and it was talks about them getting divorced, him out eating by himself. You know what I'm saying? So, but check out the current news playlist, music entertainment playlist. But that's how I took her comment, honestly. She's made, other comments on the podcast, talking shit about him. And the reality of it is, some married women, and you hear the way they talk about their husband, they talk about them like they talking about the devil themselves. And the thing about it is, I haven't encountered any married men that talk badly about their wife. I mean, literally, I've had guys tell me, oh, don't get married without kids or don't get married, but it's never going into detail about the woman. I mean, I even seen dudes that know the woman that they had children with or the wife is foul, but they won't speak bad about them to people, and they won't speak bad about them to their children. Even though their mama could be the trifest bitch in the world, they won't say nothing bad about them. But women, they don't really care. I just hear, and I've met women that speak highly of their husband. And even in through their flaws, I had a woman I used to work with back in the day. She used to say her husband, her son was right, and her husband wouldn't let him have it. He said, "You wrong, and I'm right." And he was like, "I want to hear it again." She was like, "He just won't let him have just shit like that." So I've been around women that's in healthy marriages that I spoke to on a day-to-day basis for an extended period of time, and they never spoke bad about their husband. They was talking about, oh, we want him concerts, or he's nice, and you know what I'm saying? And I respected that, because it's good not to always be filtered into the negativity. But you hear on the other side, a lot of women, all they do is trash their husband. He don't do shit right. He the worst person to be with. Why he need to be in the house? You just see that. I don't think women understand how that discourages people, especially young boys and men, from getting married. Like, why deal with that? Do my girl really feel that way? Does she think about it? And then you see the other scurvy side of it, how yo girl telling you what she doing to her boyfriend, her husband, and you just looking like, damn, what's stopping that from happening to me? So this whole podcast thing with women getting microphones and talking about how shady they move, or how their husband is, and this is a man that sacrificed and put food on the table, did what he had to do for the family. He don't get any grace. Even he don't get any room for error. You know what I'm saying? You start looking at it like a lot of guys just like, why would I want to get married? I'm getting sex. I'm getting everything. For the most part, that's all most dudes think women is worth these days. That's all women think they are. So why even put myself in a position to go on child support, to get locked down in a monogamous relationship and a marriage, and I don't have nowhere to go? Some dudes do it because they don't think they can get a woman better than what they got. And I ain't even talking about from a deep standpoint. They just think the paper is just going to stop somebody else from having sex with her. And it's not. And that's when they crash out and they break their heart. or I lock her down because I can't get no other type of woman. It's not that I found a woman that's worth something, that's valuable, that's marking damn near every one of my boxes, if not all the boxes, that's faithful, loyal, I'm saying, that's gonna stand by me, build with us, stand in the trenches with me, that I want my kids to grow up and be proud and say that's their mother. That's rarely the case. That's rarely the case. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, this is type of content, even though I think in context, she just meant that he would have had a lot of shoes to fill. Like, ooh, I would hate to be him. I would hate to have to live up to that legacy and that expectation. And the reason I feel that way is because, like, that's true. Like, coming, Joe Biden, son, he get room for trial in the era, and Trump's son probably get room, but Barack Obama, the first black president, and you know what I'm saying, like he could do no wrong. Either, either for him is to, maintain that Tiger Woods perfect type of image, or just be a straight up crash out. Look at Jackie Chan's son. He said, I ain't leave my son none of my legacy. He said, I ain't leave my son none of my money. So he's a F up. He's a fucking F up. You know what I'm saying? Like, either will have to be, either you want to be the crash out, or you just gonna be on the right side of the game. So I took it like that. A lot of people took it as she always dissing, but she's dissed Barack before. So if she never dissed Barack and spoke highly of Barack and made them these comments in or out of context, people would have been like, "Oh, I see what she's saying." But now she said negative things about Barack before now. Then it's like, all right, everybody gonna jump to the conclusion and say, "Well, she dissing Barack again." But like I said, if you be around married women, you know what I'm saying? If you've been around women in general, a lot of the times for a lot of American women, especially women that want the guy that they complain about, you like, damn, this motherfucker the worst dude in the world. But she'll get home on her hands and knees and service him. She'll do whatever that horrible guy, that drug dealer, that horrible guy, whatever he say, she gonna do it. She gonna dog him out and then go home and do whatever he wanted her to do. That's how they operate. If she don't dog you, especially in the black community, and the white women do it too. They don't dog you, they don't love you. You would think for the guy that make the sacrifices and pay the bills, you do all this shit the right way, they respect you. They wouldn't have a bad thing to say about you. Quite contrary to to that belief, it's the total opposite. And don't let her be cheating on you. The nigga she cheating on you, the man she cheating with, know all your business. Know your social security number, know where you work at, what time you go to work. It's a shiesty game, bro. That's why it's a game that most guys have opted out of. And people say, yeah, man, men can't take the same hurt as one. That's why men just like, for what? If I do it all right, I'm still wrong. I do it all wrong, I still get the same result as I do it all right. So what's the incentive for me to do it the right way? Think about it that way. How many women we got on the pod? It was this dude, man. I might do a reaction video on Free Game 89. His woman was on the podcast with him. About 10 minutes in, I didn't know they was married. And they about to get married, and she talking about, yeah, at the bachelorette party, that's where you go suck it up and you get your last cheeks clapped. And he was engaged to this girl. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking like, you gonna marry her? And she said, yeah, you should cheat. You ain't cheating until you marry. And I'm looking like, even if that's satire, it's a parody video, which I don't believe it was, bro, or they set this up for views, man, he's a sucker in my eyes. Don't even play with me like that. You's a sucker. And you gonna marry her? Like, you deserve, like Travis Hunter, dudes like him. It was another dude, I seen the brother AOQ on his other channel react to it. He met his fiance on a cruise. He was a musician, and she was with her boyfriend. And she talking about it wasn't serious. I don't believe what she say. And he took her and she was with somebody, and now he engaged to her, and she was on the cruise with her boyfriend. I'll just be looking like, man, niggas do it to themselves. It's a fact. And really, we all see signs. Do we all see signs? And some signs, sometimes you gotta be like, all right, some red flags you can deal with. It come with the game. But there's other major red flags that you gotta be like, all right, bro, like I get it. I gotta get out of here, or I gotta ask the question, or maybe it ain't a question to be asked. That's why so many women get ghosted. See, when women ghost dudes, they don't feel like they have a good explanation. I seen this one dude saying, "Oh, you should be a man and tell her why you ghost." Like, shut the fuck up. Hell no. Women will ghost you and you'll be like, the date is great. It was the perfect date, but he had a red tie on. I don't like red. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how they operate. But yeah, I was some red flags you can't ignore. If you met your wife at a strip club, I mean, you get what you got going to you. If you met your wife and you was she was an escort, you got what you deserve. Just blatant red flags like that. But hey, hit the link in the description. Check out the current news playlist, music entertainment playlist. Find me on X, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate the love and support. Peace.